All right.
I want to go into the skin in a bit more detail now. So, in your view, what's the single most important thing, apart from water, that we need to do to maintain a healthy skin?
I think it's about getting all those different vitamins and minerals in. There's lots of different vitamins, minerals that are really important for our skin. I think one of them that we probably hear a lot about is vitamin C. It's an antioxidant, and a lot of concerns for skin, maybe that's aging, are caused from like damage that might be from the sun. And so that's definitely a thing that we can be upping in our diets. And that's, we often think of oranges, but actually there's a lot of other foods that are much higher in vitamin C, like peppers, so red peppers.
I was going to ask you actually, what should people be eating? I mean, it's fascinating because I would think that a lot of listeners would think that you'd come on and talk about beauty products and whatever, but actually you're starting from the inside out and talking about the diet, which is why it's perfect for this podcast series. But could you give some idea of the type of foods you should be eating to really get that vitamin C and really help you glow?
100%. So yeah, red peppers, kiwi fruit, strawberries, of course oranges as well.
Yeah.
They're all really high in vitamin C. Another really great thing for our skin is omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay,
so getting your healthy fats in, that's one of, I definitely noticed when I started upping my fats, my skin completely changed. Stopped being so dry, much more like glowy. So we can get that from like oily fish, sardines, salmon, eggs, but you can also supplement it.
I was going to say, so is it equally as good if you supplement or if you sort of eat oily fish, things like that, or would you choose one over the other? Because a lot of people don't like oily fish.
I was going to say, I think, you know, to get the right amounts of omega-3, it can be quite hard to get it completely from our food. So I actually love oily fish, but like sometimes you just forget to eat it and it's been a week and you've not eaten it. So I do think supplementing with omega-3 is a great thing just to keep that, because it's an essential amino acid. So we do need to have it in our diet. So I think that's definitely a good one to supplement with.
What about if you're on a plant? Sorry to interrupt. What about if you're on a plant-based diet? What would you? Because obviously then you can't eat oily fish or eggs. What would you recommend? Definitely going down the supplementary route, or
so there is plant-based alternatives for omega-3 that aren't from an animal source, but also things like flax seeds, walnuts. They're really, really good sources of omega-3. So even if you're like, say you make your breakfast, you have your porridge in the morning, and say you're just doing oats and oat milk. Just add in a tablespoon of chia seeds, tablespoon of flax seeds, sprinkle off a bit of walnuts, and you've got such a good source of omega-3 in there. And also I think that's going to keep you fuller for longer because it's got more fibre, it's got more protein, it's got those healthy fats in. And I always try and get that. And if you're not a big fan, you could have it more, you could grind up the seeds and then mix it in so you can't taste it as well. I'm always putting that in my son's porridge. He'd much prefer honey, oats and oat milk, but I'm like, the chia, the flax.
Fantastic. I was talking to Dr. Zoe Williams last week and we talked a lot about eating more plants and how important that is for sort of all-round health. And that's a brilliant way. Again, we were talking about top tips, how do you add it extra in, but flax seeds definitely seem to be a miracle ingredient for so many different things. So I love that tip of popping on your porridge. Conversely, what should you avoid if you want to get that glow?
I would say it's probably the obvious ones. Alcohol.
You can say that.
Because it really dehydrates us, because it's inflammatory, also because it does throw out your sleep, and that's one of those things that we need to be conscious of. I'd say excess in sugar as well is definitely something that we want to try and reduce, and then a lot of processed foods as well. But I'm always of the mindset of crowding in, not cutting out, because I know the minute I say to you...
crowding in, not cutting out. Everyone should take heed of that. I'm going to think about that every day. Crowding in, not cutting out. Love it.
Because when I say to you, don't eat pizza, you're going to be like, I want some pizza. Because that's just the way we work. So I think I prefer to talk about add in that flaxseed to your porridge, like add in an extra portion of veg to your dinner rather than taking out, because I think when you've fueled yourself with a nutrient dense diet, you are less likely to reach for the other things, and you are less likely to do it. So I think having a positive mindset with food is really important. And like, you know, I still really like to have a margarita, and I still like to eat like, you know, croissants and things like that. And like, I know they're not the best things for my skin or my health, but I really enjoy them. But I think rather than saying no, I just try and like add in, crowd in. And that really, I think, is a really important mindset for everyone to take on. And it's just a more consistent, because, you know, I think hopefully long are the days of kind of like starving ourselves for a holiday, and it's about feeling good every day. And I think that's what motivates me. Is I like to feel good. I like to wake up, feel energized, do my best. And I know when I do all the different things, I do feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great philosophy. We talk a lot in the team about there's no such thing as an unhealthy food. There are unhealthy diets. And I think it's a similar sort of philosophy, isn't it?